Christopher May. I got it in my chest like Hobbs and OK. So please don't place a bunch of judgment on me. Could I be going insane? I'm falling in love with these psychotic screams. All these demons in my head, they talking to each other, trying to plot a plan. They trying to plot a plan to fucking end me, man. The perky's diminish the voices in my head. All these demons in my head, they talking to each other, trying to plot a plan. They trying to plot a plan to fucking end me, man. The perky's diminish the voices in my head. I'm taking Zans for anxiety. Yeah, the demons of the policy telling me I should lash out or so violently. They steady making my anger rise to cause some commotion, hoping they don't drag me down like a million high in the Pacific Ocean. Some push for the hype and the buzz, some say I should become the plug. Go ahead, put Scotty in your lung, get dollars, go ahead, keep running them up. I'm stuck in between the nether, stuck in a place where you could do worse or do better. Demons telling me if I listen to them and the plans, then everything will get better. Don't know if I believe that to be true. Trying to depict on what's a lie and what's the fucking truth. Should I embrace them or just face them? Don't know what to do. Fuck it, I'm gonna let them and see what they gonna do. All these demons in my head, they talking to each other, trying to plot a plan. They trying to plot a plan to fucking end me, man. The perky's diminish the voices in my head. All these demons in my head, they talking to each other, trying to plot a plan. They trying to plot a plan to fucking end me, man. The perky's diminish the voices in my head.
I just wake up and get money. 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 I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. Bitch, I wake up and get money. I wake up then get money. I sell plates so I ain't hungry. I take flights across the country. Bitch, I'm looking for that funky. We got Zaza and them street bowls. We ain't standing at no light poles. The bitch 360 light pole. Slim gon' handle all my rivalry. With this music, I'm a problem. And ain't no one gon' solve it. You gon' put your page on private. I make money turn to violent. Niggas shout out to my shotters. All my workers move that product. If the devil wears Prada, then my girl must be the hottest. P.O. mad, I'm in the Bahamas. Had to pay him out my pockets. Can't afford no violations. I learned freedom time is priceless. They been saying I'm the nicest, so I'm upping all my prices. Wanna feature from the gang, it's gon' probably cost your mortgage. I just wake up and get money. 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 I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. Bitch, I wake up and get money.
Bitch, I'm finna wake up getting money. I ain't stopping, these hundreds keep stacking up. Stuffing duffel bags in the cyber truck. If she finna slide, then I'm finna nut. And it's no cap, we finna get racks. And if you talk back, then you can get slapped. One night stand, I ain't calling back. 45 tuck, I never lack. You can get it smoke like a chimney. Now you sounding like crickets, you Jiminy. And that pussy looking like it's a bumblebee. And you don't need to ask, is you fucking me? Cause I roll it with 40s and 40s and 40s. And I got them running like cardio. And I just been shining my gold in the front. So now make them bleed like the time of the month.
I just wake up and get money. 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 I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. Bitch, I wake up and get money. I just 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 wake up and get money. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. I got hundreds, 50s and 20s. Bitch, I wake up and get money.
Damn, Slim Dog.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
I got a cheese. I got a cheese. I got a cheese. I got a cheese. check. I got a check.
Check, I could get some fuck about it, boy. If it's a problem, I put up on check. Fuck if I ain't got $1, I start from the bottom and run up on check. What you doing for? My young niggas hit, they gon' shoot for. Skinny get thick, she gon' twerk for. And if she a thot, she gon' fuck for.
Well, I got a check, I got a check, I got a check. Well, I got a check, I got a check, I got a check.
Boy, I ain't trippin' cause I got a check. Thinking it's bitchy cause I got a check. You can get strippin', yeah, I got a check. The Draco white grippin' cause I got a check.
Y'all into the new dimension, so pay attention. Drive slow, eyes low, 4 5s close. BBS is straight blind hoes. All new black Balenciaga, and I do this shit with my eyes closed. Y'all stressing about fine hoes, I'm sitting stressing about 5 O's. Hit the blower, go pick the drawers up, reinvesting in 5 more. Let's talk investments, highs, lows. Drop the prices, let mines go. Highland sat in this prison selling around 100,000 up times 4. And it's back to that blindfold. If you ain't feeling it the way I'm giving it, then you can simply press fast forward. Ass and titty, she asked for. BBLs pay cash for. 20 stamps on her passport. 200 miles on my dashboard. Aventador just bashed yours.
Check, I could get some fuck about it, boy. If it's a problem, I put up on check. Fuck if I ain't got $1, I start from the bottom and run up on check. What you doing for? My young niggas hit, they gon' shoot for. Skinny get thick, she gon' twerk for. And if she a thot, she gon' fuck for.
Well, I got a check, I got a check, I got a check. Well, I got a check, I got a check, I got a check.
Boy, I ain't trippin' cause I got a check. Thinking it's bitchy cause I got a check. You can get strippin', yeah, I got a check. The Draco white grippin' cause I got a check.
Infrared, goals, hollow tips, turn rose goals, and bullet holes through closed doors. Fans watching through gold roads, but we ain't stopping, that's no go. Product rapping, been low blows, and that product traffic by old hoes. And she nervous when she picking it up, she know she riding with a brick in the trunk. Got her really sad with a brick on the bone, serving night another brick in the toe.
Say, man, it's Treetop Radio LA. Treetop Radio LA, man, I appreciate you guys tapping in each and every Tuesday to my show. Make sure y'all follow me on my YouTube channel. That's Treetop Radio LA, or you can space it out, Treetop Radio LA. You can follow, like, subscribe, and share. Every time I go live, you'll get a notification. I do marketing for artists, brands, and businesses. You can contact me on my Instagram page. That's Treetop Radio. That's Treetop_Radio LA. Make sure y'all holler at me, man. I got good deals. I do video editing as well. I do photography for any type of events. Just let me know.
I don't know how to be no one else. Really, I'm just being myself. I just had and I just wanna be by myself. All alone in a cold cell. I used to sleep in a motel. Landlord kicked this out. Oh well, I know the street so well. So I used to shop at motels. I thought with that I had the post sales. Then they locked me back up. Never saw they locked me back up. You came with solution with the black. This time I got backed up. 25 on my head. I kept the number one. Then I
He over there in an $80,000 truck, not even take care of his fucking responsibilities. This shit is crazy.
Oh, hello. Welcome to TTRLA, the wonderful land of cartoons. Here, we make dreams come true. Anything that you want to do has to be started by you. Today on TTRLA, first episode, we have the Black Elote Man. That's right, the Black Elote Man. For those of my people around the globe looking at this commercial and don't know what an elote is, it's the best goddamn corn you'll ever have in your damn life. I'm going to have my man Black Cormac take it away. Black Cormac, it's on you.
And this is
Elijah and Femi, my helper.
Elijah and his helper, Femi. And we're going to learn how to make esquite. Okay, so what do we do first?
We get a cup.
Okay.
Add some lemon.
Okay.
You know, like we feel like this.
Woo, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
Words
Hello
of Wisdom
there.
Tuesdays
This is
from
Grandpops
Grandpops.
I want to shout out to all my grandbaby's followers that have been turning up her views. Since I've been on here, she's been getting a lot more likes, and so I like that for her. You know, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, today's words of wisdom is making that dash in between your born date and your death date count. Wondering, Grandpop, what do you mean the dash? Well, when you die and an obituary is made for you, it has the day that you came into the world and the day you left. And then there's a dash. When they get to that dash, they read your credits like a movie. It's all your contributions to the world. Some people leave this world with no contribution at all. They just leave. What will your obituary say? Do you want a legacy? Or do you want to just leave? Treetop Radio LA, man. We are broadcasting live in Baltimore, Maryland, via Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, Big Homie Smiles. That's right, Big Homie Smiles. I'm the illest host in the world. We got a wonderful show today, man. Hopefully my guests pull up on us, man. It's a wonderful artist from out the Midwest, Cash a Million the Don. You already know how we do. The topic for today is going to be development. No story for today. We're just going to get straight into the purpose. Now, for my people that's out there that's not familiar with Treetop Radio LA, I need you to go ahead and once this podcast is over, I need you to go ahead and go back to my shows and check me out. If you're listening in, if you're tuning in, streaming me on YouTube, if you're streaming me on the audio platform, Spotify, Apple, this is what I need you to do. I need you to take your thumb. If you're on YouTube, especially, take your thumb. If you don't got a thumb, take your hands. If you ain't got hands, take your elbows. Everybody got an elbow. And I need you to like, subscribe, and share to this YouTube channel, man. The more likes and subscribers I get, the quicker I'm able to monetize my channel and create an additional stream of income for myself. Now, today's topic for today is going to be development. Now, the purpose of this topic is going to be for my audience, young and old, to understand that development in yourself is necessary in order to grow, right? Especially when you're trying to elevate your mindset. People sometimes, I think in my generation especially, I don't think we have a good understanding of what it means to truly develop yourself as a young person into a young adult, into a successful adult that is functioning properly with good emotional intelligence in society, right? So you want to be able to change your environment, right? In order to develop properly, especially if you're not in a conducive environment that is allowing you to grow and allowing you to express yourself as a person, you know, man or woman, you have to be able to change your environment. Sometimes changing your environment means leaving from where you are from. Like for me, I'm just going to use myself as an example. In order for me to develop myself as a podcaster and as a woman and as an individual, just seeking success, I actually had to remove myself from where I'm from. So I'm from Capitol Heights, Big 41, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to 41 Capitol Heights. Now in order for me to do that, I had to leave and go to a totally different another place on the planet, which was California. And I love California. California is the reason why, you know, I was able to get TTR LA off the ground. You know, it was a wonderful environment. It was always sunny. And I met a lot of different people, which allowed me to grow and develop my show, develop myself as an individual. And I was able to network and make some good connections. Now, when you have the understanding that you need to change your environment or you need to develop, you have to have the knowledge to do so. And knowledge without application is stagnation, right? So if you have the knowledge and you're not applying that knowledge in order to develop and grow, you're going to be stagnant. So it's a lot of people in the world, in my generation, people I know who have the knowledge, right? They have the knowledge to be so successful in life, so successful in their craft and what God has put their purpose on this earth to be, but they're not applying it to anything. You know what I'm saying? And so they're stagnant. So each year that comes around, their birthday comes around, they in the same place. They on that same cycle, just going, doing the same thing, but doing it differently, but not moving nowhere, if that makes sense. So if you have the knowledge in order to develop, you have to be able to apply that knowledge so that you don't remain stagnant. And at the point, if you're not applying knowledge, you go from, if you're not applying knowledge to anything, right? If you're not applying your knowledge to progressing, or if you want to be, you know, a person, oh, well, this is my environment. I grew up in this type of environment, you know what I'm saying? Or this is how I was brought up. I was brought up around a bunch of angry people. I was brought up around an abusive environment. I was brought up around non-love. So if you are not applying the knowledge to develop your mindset, to change your environment, to change your situation mentally and physically, then you go from victim, right? Go from victim of your circumstance, right? To volunteering. You volunteering to be in that situation at this point, because you have the knowledge and you're not trying to do anything to be successful. You're now volunteering to be a victim. Now, elevated environments create next level association. I'm gonna say that again. Elevated environments creates next level association. So if you are elevating and developing your environment to be of success and of a different stature than what it was as you were growing, then it's going to create different type of people you're going to associate yourself with. Prime example, if you grew up in a neighborhood that was nothing but drug dealers, gangbangers, prostitutes, pimps, you know what I'm saying? And you elevated your mind, you elevated your environment, you're no longer going to be associating yourself with those type of people. And it's not to say that you're not going to be cool with those type of people, but you're not going to be you're not going to be associate yourself with those type of people because you have elevated your environment. And when you elevated your environment, you create next level associations. That means you're trying to go to the next level. If I want to be a boss, right? If I want to be a manager, if I want to be somebody who is seen as somebody who can, if I want to be somebody who is seen as for other people to come and seek knowledge from me, I have to be hanging around people that are going to, I have to be hanging around the people that are going to that person that's going to seek knowledge, right? So if I want to be a manager, I have to be consistent with hanging around my manager or hanging around people of management skill level, right? Because if I'm hanging around just employees, then my mindset is not going to change. I'm not going to elevate my environment. I'm still going to be on an employee level, you know, doing what's necessary in order to get a check. If I want to be a manager, I'm going to be stepping up my game. I'm going to be developing my mind. I'm not just want to be an employee. I want to be a manager. Therefore, I'm going to be acting and associating myself with management things. I'm going to get to work on time. I'm going to dress professionally. I'm going to hold myself accountable at all times. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing things the right way. I'm going to take on a lot of tasks and still get them done and be able to manage them to get them done, right? That is how you elevate your environment to create next level associations. You have to be willing to hang around the people that you want to be like. If that's successful. Now, if you want to be a gangbanger, then all you got to do is hang around other gangbangers and other gang members, and you about to be the next one. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hang around, if you want to develop your mind into a millionaire mindset, if you want to develop your mind into ownership, you have to hang around what? Owners. You can't be hanging around nobody that's renting. That's not going to be a successful situation for you, because then you are going to be like, oh, all I got to do is rent. If you hanging around people that's just on the government assistance, you know what I'm saying, or getting handouts, then that's where your mind is going to be. Your mind is going to be like, oh, I have to get handouts. I want a handout. I don't really want to put in no work to get what I need in life. I want somebody to give it to me. And then you become dependent. So it's a lot of people out here that's dependent on handouts or dependent on somebody giving them knowledge, right? We live in a generation right now where people are not seeking knowledge. They are just willing to take whatever somebody tells them as the truth, right? We're in a generation where people is not even going out to seek and research knowledge. Whatever Instagram say, that's what it is. Whatever somebody tell you that you feel like is in a position of power or is in a position of fame, and they tell you something, people run with it. They're not even verifying. They're not even checking, but verifying. They're not doing none of that. They just taking everything for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And in order to develop yourself as an individual, you have to change your thinking, change your mindset. Even if you are a person that's seeking, if you're on a godly or a path of seeking a spiritual growth, you have to be hanging around people that are spiritually growing. You can't be wanting to seek growth and spirituality, and you can't be wanting to seek people of God-like nature if you hanging around heathens. Period. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna be a heathen like them. You have to hang around people with that type of mindset. Therefore, if you hang around that type of mindset, you then develop the mindset of spirituality, of growth, of godliness, of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? All of those things come into play. So when you think of, so I'm gonna just give you guys the definition of development. So development is the act, the process, or result of developing new ideas or or the state of being developed, the state of being developed, a project in development. So what that means is that development is a process, right? Boom, we're gonna take that, we're gonna break that down. How is development a process, Big Homie Smiles? Well, I'm glad you asked that, viewers. Now, development is a process because development doesn't happen overnight. When you think about a building, this building that I work in, right? I work in an apartment complex. I'm a leasing consultant. So I work in an apartment complex. Developers, right? The developers are the people who had the idea. They had the idea to change the environment that this was before it became this beautiful apartment community. So the developers had a process. They had to, number one, they had to assess the surrounding community. They had to assess how beneficial it would be to tear down whatever was right here before this apartment building was, and how beneficial it would be for investors to invest into it. That's the developer's job, to figure out how they can create a ROI. And for those of you not familiar with real estate, ROI just means a return of investment. How can they develop this place so immaculately that they will have a return on investments, right? Then they had to go to the next process. They had to get developers. I mean, they had to start developing from what the developers put out there, right? So in order to develop that from that which the developers created, you need construction workers, right? So you had to, it's just a whole process. So you had to change. So they had to go through a whole changing of environment, right? Which they did. They created this wonderful building this particular building used to be a projects in Baltimore. They tore the projects down. Developers came, investors came. They had ideas, they had a process, and then they developed high-end A-listing apartment building for the community who is near the hospital, John Hopkins, because we are like literally right next door to John Hopkins Hospital. So they were thinking like, okay, if we develop a high-end apartment building where John Hopkins affiliates could easily go back and forth to work with no problem. I think they was like, ooh, this money time, right? Boom. Another example of development and process and the result of development is new ideas, right? So for me, creating TTRLA was me developing a new idea and creating interest in this new idea, right? So, excuse me. So prior to me moving to LA, I hadn't developed what I wanted in a radio, because I wanted a radio show. I wanted something to where people could not only hear my voice, but see me. And I could interact with other entrepreneurs and artists and people who want to develop better and be a better version of themselves in lives, right? So, but prior to me going to LA, I never had this. I didn't develop the process. I had the idea, but I didn't quite put it into development. When I moved to LA, I developed the process. I developed what I wanted in my show. And so because we're leaving from radio for real, I came up with podcasting. So podcasting was the new wave during the time that I was coming to LA. It was the new wave. Everybody's podcasting. So I was like, okay, I can turn being on the radio, which it's just podcasting, but more free and less restriction. I can podcast. And then so I had to develop ideas for my podcast shows, right? So I had to reach out to different people. I had to develop different ideas. And eventually I created a process for my show that worked, and it was able to run on its own, basically, but I'm still running it. But basically it was a ship now. Before I just had the wheels. Now I got the ship and it's running. So when I'm on the ship, we good. You know what I'm saying? So that is a part of development. I had to develop myself. And when in life, when you want to progress to the next level, you have to have plans. You have to plan. Proper preparation prevents poor planning. Those are the 5 Ps. Shout out to Larry Hoover, because he stood on those principles, man. And it's true. If you don't prepare properly, you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? So when you prepare properly, it prevents poor planning, and you're able to develop yourself in a way that is you're able to develop yourself in a way that you're able to grow. Now, development is a process, like I said, that creates growth, progress, positive change, or the addition of physical, economic, environmental, social, and demographic components, right? So again, with this apartment community, this is a economical, not only it was an economical development, it was an environmental development. It was also a social development, a demographic development, because you're creating a different type of demographic. Because we are a high-end apartment community, we try to filter in high-end residents, right? So we're not really seeking low-income residents. We're not an income affordable type of community. We're a high-end community. Therefore, we're looking for high-end residents. So if you're not a person that can make or income qualified to live here, then it's not the environment for you. It's not the type of development that you need. You know what I'm saying? You need a little bit more assistance, a little bit more handouts, you know what I'm saying, in order to, get you in a place where you can lay your heads peacefully. So the purpose of development is a rise in the level of quality of life of the population and the creation or expansion of a local regional income employment opportunities without damaging the resources of the environment. Again, when developing my show, Treetop Radio. So when I developed my show, I'm trying to create an opportunity. I'm trying to create an opportunity for other people, not only to be able to build on their own wealth that they have going on, but to be able to create opportunities for these different type of entrepreneurs, these artists. So my thinking is, if I have an artist on my show and people stream my podcast or they listen to it on the audio side, somebody may say, oh, wow, I like the way that artist thinks, or, oh, wow, I like that artist's music. Let me try to reach out to them through these different channels that was provided to me from this platform. Or if I have an entrepreneur that is an owner of a business and, you know, somebody take a look and come back to my show and see like, oh, wow, they have a good company going on, I would like to invest. Or, you know, I see where they're trying to take their business. Let me reach out to them via the platform that was provided. You know what I'm saying? So that way I'm creating employment opportunities or just opportunity in general for growth. Now, development is visible and useful, not necessarily immediately, and it includes an aspect of quality of change and a creation of conditions for continuation of that change. So again, I keep going back to my apartment complex that I work for. So we are trying to create a continual, consistent type of residence that we want here in our building. We want, number one, we want residents that can afford to live here, number one. And we want quality residents. We don't want residents that's going to be smoking weed outside of our apartment building, smoking weed smoking cigarettes or weed in an apartment building. We don't tolerate that, because we have developed a level of expectations for our residents and for our community. We are high end. So when you're high end, you can't really do those things that are looked upon as low end, right? And smoking in the building, around the building is not acceptable. We don't even allow residents to even be near our building smoking cigarettes. You gotta be actually 25 feet away. You gotta scram. You feel me? So that's a part of developing. And when you're developing these type of things, you want to be consistent in the conditions that you're creating so that it doesn't change. It's just continual, right? So when you're developing yourself, when you're changing your environment, you want to continue to elevate yourself and put yourself in situations that are not going to have you backtrack to, excuse me, and backtrack to, I'm so sorry. You don't want to have it backtrack you to what you once was. You want to always elevate and continue to elevate at all costs, all the time. Now, personal development is looking inward and focusing on ways to better yourself. Like I was talking about with myself and wanting to be in a position of not maybe, but I do want to be a manager. I want to be a person that is seen as of someone that manage others, and not only manage others, but someone that can manage their self well. And in order for me to do that, I had to develop myself in a way that people see me as such. So that means that I have to be emotionally intelligent. And when I say emotionally intelligent, that means I have to be able to recognize triggers for myself. I have to be able to be able to talk and handle emotions of others without allowing myself to get engulfed in their emotions, right? I have to be able to handle many tasks at one time. I have to be able to manage those tasks in a successful manner to where that I'm not overwhelmed, right? People have to be able to depend on me, because when you're a manager, everybody's dependent on you to get things done. That's just what it is. And so as a employee, as a consultant, I I have to prove myself not only to my manager that I'm capable, but I have to prove myself to my other colleagues that I'm capable of being a manager. Now, of course, everybody is not going to, like you, or people are not going to really, care for the person that is trying to be the show off in their eyes, or the the know-it-all, or the brown noser, or the the kisser, the person that's kissing up to the manager. Of course, you're going to be kind of disliked a little bit, but that's what comes with the job, because everybody don't like their managers. You know what I'm saying? It's being a manager is hard, because you got to deal with a lot, and you have to be able to delegate things, and you have to be able to eliminate the weak link. If it's the weak link, you gotta be able to do it, chop it with no feelings attached. You know what I'm saying? So when you're doing personal development, you have to really try to look into yourself and how you should be developing as an individual. Like for example, for myself, like I really can say that I've seen the development of myself over the years, because that's what I wanted to have. I made sure that I did things to where that I'm growing every single year. So now some things that I may make a mistake, and I may, kind of backslide a little bit in, but when it comes to developing personal development, I've honestly grew a whole lot. I used to be a person that was very emotional. Well, I guess I'm not as emotional, but I have emotions, but I was like really emotional. Like somebody say something negative to me, I'm popping off. I'm going to the max with it. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody is reprimanding me, I will be emotional and cry. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm working on developing my emotions where I'm not crying when somebody's reprimanding me or trying to tell me how to better myself. You know what I'm saying? I can sit in my emotions and not let it overwhelm me. You know what I'm saying? And so I've also noticed that with my patience level. So my patience level has gotten very good. I've always been a patient person, but over the years, I've seen that my patience has gotten better. I have also been able to develop my attitude in a much more manageable way, right? Because I know for me personally, I have a bad attitude, right? And because I know that and I recognize that, I had to, and still am doing, develop mechanisms for myself to not allow my own emotions to get the best of me and cause situations to go wrong. Because that's what I've done before. I've allowed my emotions to get the best of me, and I've ruined good situations. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm a human being. I'm not perfect, but I can recognize those type of negative traits about myself, and I'm working on doing better. Just as well as when in my work environment. So I've noticed that I've developed a more patient and a more emotionally intellectual understanding of people and their emotions, right? So I'm able to, like, if I have a coworker or a colleague that maybe throwing me shade, or maybe showing attitude, or maybe has switched something that they was normally doing, like saying bye when they leave or speaking when they come in, if they've stopped that, I've learned not to endure that emotion, right? Because before I'd be like, oh yeah, you gonna carry it like that? I'm gonna carry you to the max. You're not even gonna understand why I'm carrying you like this. But that's not good, because that's not professional. I'm trying to develop myself in a higher situation later on down the line. So I had to, have that emotional intelligence. And I'm reading this book now. It's called, I don't know if y'all could read it or not, but it's called How Emotions Are Made. It's the Secret Life of the Brain. So I'm always developing my mind. I'm trying to, regroup and refocus on how I can be better as an individual and as a person, and how I can, just have more control over myself. Because once you're able to control yourself, once you're able to control how you interact with people or how you react to people, then you have a certain level of power in your bag that you didn't even realize that you had, because people aren't able to trigger you or aren't able to take anger out of you like they think they can, right? Because some people are testers, you know what I'm saying? You have people that are really out here trying to push those buttons. If you're a person that's a pure heart, you know what I'm saying, if you're a nice person, it's some people out here that don't like people that's nice. They don't like people that's smiling all the time. They don't like people that's being motivational. They want to make you mad. They want to see if what you're showing to the world, to the public, is real. So they test you, they poke you, they do stuff, they say stuff to you, they try to get you out of your zone. But if you have developed yourself in a way that is conducive to elevating, then that type of emotion that they're trying to bring out of you, it won't be able to bring, because you have the power. You control yourself. You're controlling your emotions. You have developed yourself in a way where you control your emotions and you control how you move in your new elevated environment, right? So personal development increases your self-awareness, your self-esteem. It increases your skills, and it fulfills your aspirations. So when you develop yourself, like when you set goals for yourself, right? Or when you are developing, like what I was telling you about how you notice things about yourself, when you're able to be self-aware, right? It creates a better self-esteem for yourself. Like, because I'm self-aware of myself and I'm self-aware of my attitude, I have a better confidence. I have created a better self-esteem for myself, because I don't allow people to have power over my emotions. And I'm working on not allowing people to have power over my emotions, because when you give people the power over your emotions, that's like you telling people, hey, I have the power over you. I can control whatever you think just by saying this to you. Nobody has control over me but the Lord above, God. You know what I'm saying? He's the only person that controls me. You know what I'm saying? So when you are able to develop yourself and be self-aware of what you're doing or how you are going about in life, right? Because people are always watching you. I had this manager when I sold cars tell me, say, Kato, man, people always watching. It's the truth. My dad used to tell me, man, how you dress out here and your name is all you got. Well, he ain't say the dress part, but he said your name and is all you got in this world, for real. And that's the truth. If you tarnish your name, who are you? Who are you if you don't have your name, right? Who are you, right? Like for rappers, perfect example. I'm going to go ahead and throw Quando Rondo out there. He developed his rap career as a gang member. He was a in the public's eyes, he was a certified member. I don't like saying gang member. I'm sorry. I like saying fraternity. He was a fraternity member of the streets. He was a certified fraternity members of the streets in the public's eyes. That's how he developed his career. That's how he developed his lifestyle. Everything he did was Crippin'. It was fraternity affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Then he realized, he became self-aware, which might have been a little bit too late in the musical sense, but not too late in the personal development sense. He became self-aware of how he was carrying himself and how the things, the image that he put out there, because he started losing friends, he started losing homies. You know what I'm saying? People started dying. But he knew that, though, going into it. He knew that. He already knew this is what come with being a fraternity member. This is blood in, blood out. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is, what you're going to die on, so you got to stand on it. But he became self-aware that, like, look, man, I'm out here repping something that is not really beneficial to my development as a man, as a father, and as an artist. So it's not to say that he can no longer be an artist, but are people really going to take him seriously now that he he told the world that he no longer wants to be affiliated with the fraternity of the streets, that he went on many platforms and said he's going to die about this and he don't see no other life but this? So are people really going to really take to who he is trying to become? He really probably got to give up rapping. He actually probably got to give up being an artist. Or maybe he has to change his whole image completely. he can no longer be Quando Rondo. Maybe he had to develop himself into somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So like when you are developing yourself, it increases your self-awareness, your self-esteem. It increases your skills and fulfills your aspirations if you're doing it properly, if you're developing yourself in a proper manner. Now, among other things, personal development may also include improving self-awareness, right? So when you're developing yourself, you want to improve your self-awareness. You want to improve being aware of self, right? You have to improve how you're doing things. Like for me right now, I understand that I have to improve how I'm handling my emotions with being dumped. Straight up. I'm not handling my emotions as properly as I should because me and the person never really had a conversation about this. It was just really off emotion, you know what I'm saying? And I stuck in a situation where I stayed in a situation where we wasn't really communicating, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to develop, be more aware of my self-awareness and of myself. And I had to have more self-development in that area, in that aspect, because I'm upset and I'm angry at the person, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like maybe what happened in our relationship time is something that we actually have gotten over and worked through communication, but it didn't happen like that. So I'm trying to like sort through emotions, and what my co-host told me last time was attachment. So I guess I got to sort through why I'm so attached to this person, because you know how I feel is that they didn't really do me well. They didn't do me right. You know, we had some great moments in our time, but how it went down was just not right, and it's just not sitting well with me. So I'm working on that. You also can improve on self-knowledge, right? Like what I told y'all, I'm reading this book. It's called How Emotions Are Made. It's by Lisa Feldman Barrett. It's The Secret Life of the Brain. So you have to improve on self-knowledge. So I'm trying to develop who I am emotionally. Like I understand little parts. I understand some parts of myself of who I am. And I understand how I need to develop myself into learning more about things. Like I'm learning about emotional intelligence, because that's very important. A lot of times people don't have emotional intelligence, and so they act off emotions. When you have emotional intelligence, you're not acting off emotions. You have an intellectual thinking process, right? Excuse me. Also, improving skills or learning new ones. So I'm trying to, being a leasing consultant is new for me in being a leasing apartments. So this is a new skill that I'm developing and that I am learning. I'm also learning other skills like being able to deal with a lot of things at once. So before I wasn't really a good multitasker. Now being a leasing consultant, I have to be a it's not, I try to be, I have to be one. I have to be able to do a lot of things at once and get it done in a timely manner. So this is a skill that I'm learning and I'm developing. I'm also developing, improving on my skill of, not reacting. I keep saying that because it's true. I'm developing that skill of not reacting crazy to people. I'm developing other personal developments that you can do is developing strengths and talents. So good strengths that I have is that I'm a very personable person. So in order to develop more on that is that I have to keep interacting with people, talking to people. I do my shows, my podcast, that helps me develop my talent with speaking. I'm a very good orator. I speak well. And so I'm just developing on being a marketer. I'm also a good marketer. So developing that. Networking, that's a talent, because a lot of people don't know how to network with others. So that's a talent that I'm working on. I'm also working on and strengthening, my relationships with my mom. I'm working on strengthening my relationship with my brother, which has gotten very good and way more beneficial for the both of us as siblings as we've gotten older. Now, of course, we still have maybe some issues here and there, but for the most part, we have developed we have developed in a way that is conducive to being a family. Like before, me and my mom, we didn't really have a very conducive relationship that was, that could be seen for a mother and daughter. Now, because we made efforts towards each other to develop that relationship, we are in a very good and very successful space. Also, identifying or improving potential. So you have to be able to identify what you need to develop. Sometimes people aren't able to see change, and they're unable to see what they need to change within themselves. So they're always playing a victim. They're always pointing a finger. Oh, they did this to me. And they did this. I didn't do nothing because I'm so perfect, or, I don't really cause no problem. No, you have to be able to identify within yourself what your role is into contributing to whether it's negativity or positivity. So you got to be able to identify that. You also want to be building employability or human capital. So you want to be a person that is employable, right? You want to develop yourself into a person that people see as, oh, I can see her working here. You know what I'm saying? When I got hired at my job, my career, because it's not a job now. When I got hired in my career, my manager and my regional manager said, oh, wow, you're the best. I can see you being successful in this type of environment, right? So you have to be somebody who is employable. And also you have to build human capital. So when you are building human capital, you are creating capital. When I say capital, you're creating you're creating value within yourself. You are the value. You are the capital. People see you and they be like, oh, I know they're going to benefit. They're going to do something great that's going to be beneficial to what I got going on, right? But it happens. I'm telling you, you have to create human capital. Also, you have to be able to enhance your lifestyle and the quality of life and time management, right? So that goes back to what I said in the beginning. You have to be willing to change your environment. You have to be willing to develop yourself and change your lifestyle, change your thinking, right? So when I first started this podcast, I had a lot of dressed down clothes, right? But now that my mindset is changing and I'm developing as an adult, as a woman, as a podcaster, my clothing even is changing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm it's a little bit more on a not too professional, but kind of conservative type of dress. You know what I'm saying? Because I want a different type of audience as well. I want a inclusive audience. I want a lot of different people, but I'm looking for specific people that are trying to elevate, right, in life. And so also, I don't know if people have noticed that I've been kind of cutting back on the cursing, right? Because I don't want my message and my topics, because they're great topics each time I come on to do my show. They're great topics. And so I don't want to discourage people from watching my show, especially older people, from watching my podcast, because my mouth is filthy. So I've been kind of trying to tone back the cursing. Now, I'm not going to say it's completely eradicated, but I have definitely eliminated a lot. If you follow me from the beginning, you'll see the growth in me and in my way. And shout out to Townhouse Media too, because if you was ever check out his platform, Townhouse Media on YouTube, you can scroll through all his videos and you can see when I first started and how my little spiel used to be Figaro, you know what I'm saying? It used to be kind of crazy. Now looking back, I was like, ooh, that was kind of real out there, you know what I'm saying, with my intros. But now that I'm developing myself into a more professional, a more podcast friendly podcaster or DJ, what you call it. So I'm changing, right? Also, time management. Time management is very important when you're developing yourself and you want to go to the next level, because if you're unable to manage your time, how are you going to be able to manage other things in your life, right? So I'm also developing on how to be a good time manager. I've always been a good time manager, for real, but I'm trying to make it better. Now, also improving your health is a good way to develop yourself. So exercising, it's a good way to relieve stress. It's a good way to help your body kind of regulate toxins that is inside of you. Also, you want to be able to also be able to just feel good. So if you are a person that is overweight, you're not going to be feeling good. You're going to be gloomy. You're going to be kind of down. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be, not in the right mindset because your body is not where it should be. So you have to improve your health. You got to eat the right things. You know what I mean? You have to, just kind of improve your health, eating, working out, and all those good things. Improving wealth or social status. So those are good ways to develop yourself too. So if you want to develop yourself wealth-wise, you have to do things conducive to wealth. You have to be able to have other forms of streams of income. You have to be willing to start something new that is going to create a stream of income. And when you do that, it ultimately develops your social status, because then you're going to be associating yourselves with business owners, with entrepreneurs. You're not really going to be hanging with the people that's inside plant. You're not going to be relating to the homies that's playing video games all day, or on Instagram all day, or on a corner all day, or fraternity members, or you know what I'm saying, drinking and smoking. You're not really going to be hanging around them, because it's not the type of social status that you are seeking. Also, you want to defining and executing personal development plans, those PDPs, like I was saying before. You want to have a plan. You want to have a plan, like a year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, because if you have stuff written down, then you have an idea on the path that you want to go. And if you know where you're going, you can't really get lost because you got it mapped out, right? When you don't have things mapped out, you kind of going with whatever occurred, it's not good, because you don't really have a developed mind. You're not really planning on what you want to do in life. So personal development can include developing other people's skills and personalities as well. So again, like being a manager, I have a fantastic property manager. She's very involved in developing me as a leasing agent. So when you are a person that knows how to develop yourself, you can ultimately help develop others into being the best of them versions of themselves. So she's developing me in a sense to where she's let me know when I mess up. She's letting me know when I do good, and she's giving me plans to be more successful as a consultant. You know what I'm saying? She's helping where I lack. So right now, I'm not really too good at math too much, but I'm getting better. And I'm going to stop saying I'm not good at math. I am getting better in math. I am good at math. I'm getting better in it. And I'm learning how to properly do things in this position that I am where math is involved. This can also happen through roles such as a teacher, like I was telling you, my property manager, a mentor, or somebody with personal competency, like my mom. My mom is somebody that I also seek knowledge from, because she's a person that has developed herself in a way to where she's very successful. She's created social status. She's created wealth. She's, she's developed herself in a way spiritually as well, so that I seek spiritual knowledge from her. I go to her and seek spiritual counseling, because she has developed herself in a way to where it's conducive to what I feel like a person of spirituality should be. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm down, or when I'm not feeling my best at work, or I'm having an issue with internal personal issues, I reach out to her, and she's going to give me the type of development and the type of answers that I need in order to be successful. Also, beyond improving oneself and developing others, you have personal development labeled as a field of practice and research. As a field of practice, personal development includes personal developing methods, learning programs, assessment system, tools, and techniques. So when you when you're developing yourself, yes, it's self-awareness, it's stuff that you have to do within yourself, but you also have to seek out that knowledge. Remember, I was telling you, I'm reading this book. It's called How Emotions Are Made, the Secret Life of the Brain. So I'm reading books to help me be more intellectual with my emotionally intellect, to help me be more emotional intelligent. I'm also, when I'm at work as a leasing consultant, I'm also taking courses. I'm showing up to leadership workshop classes. I'm taking courses in how to be a better leasing consultant and how to read or how to ask the right questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm always developing myself as a consultant. I'm developing myself as an individual, as a human being. You know what I'm saying? And as a field of research, personal development topics appear in, in a lot of sociology and psychology journals. But you just want to be able to, develop yourself in a way and give yourself the proper tools to be successful. And personal development frameworks may include goals or benchmarks that define an endpoint. So if you're developing yourself, right, you have to have goals and endpoints, right? So my endpoint for my career would be to be at the highest level in this business that I can be. And then that's top CEO, whatever. That's the end goal. So I haven't quite figured out the end goal, but I know that this is my career and this is what I want to do. And I do want to be a manager, but I have to figure out after a manager, what's the next step? What is my next best step? You feel me? So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm gonna get there. You have to have strategies and plans for reaching these goals. When you have strategies and plans for reaching these goals, you are putting yourself on a platform to where that you have to hit those marks, right? When you're a person that's in sports, you have to give yourself goals like, okay, this game, I'm going to hit 30 points. How do you hit 30 points? I mean, you have to be in practice on and off the court when people is there, when people not there, in order to, like Kobe Bryant would go in the gym and shoot free throws all day, jump shots all day. That's how he became the Mamba. He the GOAT. Long live Kobe Bryant. That's my man. Also, you have to be able to measure and assess progress and levels and stages that define milestones along your development path, right? So not only do you have to have a process, not only do you have to be able to be self-aware and develop yourself, you have to be able to assess your progress. Like, remember I was telling you in the beginning, I'm able to successfully assess myself, my growth from a youngster to now as an adult. I'm able to assess how I've grown. I've grown a lot. You know what I mean? And I've created milestones for myself. So I'm trying to continue to hit other milestones that I've created for myself. Like, I want to be a person that is not easily offended. Now, I've been working on that, and I don't get as offended as easily as I once did, but it's something that I'm still developing on. It's a milestone that I'm trying to reach, and on my development path, I'm gonna get there eventually. Also, feedback system to provide information or changes. So you have to be able to develop your mind to be able to intake feedback and constructive criticism, and be able to hear what somebody is saying that you may not be doing the right way, even though you feel like you're doing it the right way. If somebody's saying you have to be able to listen to that and make the necessary changes. That's something that I'm working on right now. Like, being able to assess what people are saying to me about something that I may not be doing correctly and be able to make that adjustment and not do the back and forth. Because I know this about myself too. I do a lot of, when I feel like I'm right, I'm gonna go back and forth with you. I'm gonna try to be smart. I'm gonna be very sarcastic in my answers. And so I've recognized that about myself. So I've been developing on not being that person that's always got to have the last word. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to allow people to just say anything and say that I've done something I didn't. But I've learned that if you want to show people that they wrong, you have to have proof. So shout out to my mother for letting me know that, you know, especially when you're in a career, you have to have physical proof. So what I've been doing now is when situations happen, I have proof, like, oh, this is what I did. This is why I did this. Or this is what I did, and they didn't do this because it's a result of this. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to have what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be able to have receipts in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all I got for today. You know, my co-hosts ain't tap in, all my guests ain't tap in, but that's okay. At least they understood that, you know, I have a platform for them. I'm going to play a couple commercial breaks before I come back, all right? Peace and blessings, family. Just because you've changed who you are from who you've been doesn't mean that the people that you've hurt has to accept that change. A lot of times in life, we make mistakes that we really can't come back from. Me, myself, I've made some personal mistakes, especially with those that I love, you know. Nothing that in the moment that I felt was something tragic where that we would cut ties. But when you take a step back and you look at it, it's definitely something worthy of stepping away from somebody. When you make mistakes, you have to deal with those mistakes as an adult and as a person and be willing to accept the circumstances and the outcomes that come with those mistakes. Be blessed. Hey. Whoever out there, your worth is not determined by who you're with. Your worth is not where you live at, how much money you got. Your worth is the value of your character, the value of your morals. A lot of times we get in situations where, you know, we put more value in that thing or that person than we do ourselves. You are important. You matter. God created you with a purpose. Live your life with a purpose and with intent. Everything else will work out. If you broke, you gotta have the mentality of good work ethics, and money will follow you. If you're going through something in a relationship or with your family, work on yourself. Everything else will work out. Peace and love.
Started from the bottom, now I'm on the terrace smoking on gelato with a model, yeah. And now I got it, the money and the power. Stunting all summer, pouring Henny for our problems. Look, I used to need a KD to hold, and now I need 100 to show. Beat the block, used to work the front post. Hoes meet me at the door, niggas at the stove. Made it all hot, they couldn't keep it on the low. Had to set some new goals, dreadlocks need new.
All right, man. That concludes the TTRLA show, man. Shout out to my guest that was supposed to show up, Cash a Million a Dime. He must have had something that came up. Shout out to my co-host, Black Corn Man. Make sure y'all follow him on Instagram. That's Black_Corn_Man_LA. Make sure y'all follow my Instagram page. My podcast page is going to be 23 Savage _Treetop Radio _LA. Y'all can follow also my personal page, Big Homie Smiles _backup page 41. Y'all know I never go a show without saying freak my man, Simba, man. Inshallah, my man be home soon, man. Word through the grapevine is my man speaking 2 languages fluently. And he didn't know these languages prior to being incarcerated. So I heard that he know Arabic fluently and Spanish. So he about to really change the music game if that's something that he decides to continue once he gets out, man. So the rap game is just going to be on lock with him. He's just going to have it on lock. Shout out to the house team, man. Long live 9, man. Shout out to everybody that's just tuning in with me, man, whether it's one or none, whether it's a few or 2, you feel me? I just appreciate being able to have my platform, being able to give out topics, help somebody that may come across my channel. I just appreciate you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure y'all stream me on all platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Check me out. You feel me? I'm here each and every Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 Pacific Time, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And we out this thing. Yeah. Say, man, it's Street Top Radio LA.